guys, welcome back. Today I thought it would be fun. Well, I actually don't know how fun it will be, but it needs to be done. I thought it would be fun to go through and make a list of all of the books that I own that I haven't read yet. Also, sorry if I'm distracted. I'm on the floor and my dog is very happy about that. So he's right here with me. Let's see if I can get it so that you can see him. Scout, come here. Come here. Say hi. Say hi. Hello. He just wants attention. So anyway, he might be hanging out with us today. But anyway, the reason that I wanted to do this video, no, that's my mic. Please don't do that. Thank you. The reason that I wanted to do this video is because I just finished a book that I pulled from my TBR jar. I have made this earlier in the year, and I really made it like close to the beginning of the year, and I have bought so many books since then that I am more interested in than a lot of the books that are in here. I've been doing a read it or unhaul it once a month where I pull a couple names, like a couple titles from this jar, and then pick one of them to either read and finish and decide to keep, or go ahead and get rid of. And there's like a disproportionate number of a few genres in here that I am having a hard time, and so I wanted to give myself a little bit more variety. There is a disproportionate number of classics in here. I'm actually sitting in front of my classics shelf right now. Like a little bit right here is general fiction, but then like this and then like everything down here is classics. And I just finished reading Hard Times by Charles Dickens, and it was a lot. And so I know right now that I will not be able to handle pulling like another Dickens for next month. That is not something I want to do. So I want to go through and actually make an accurate representation of what my shelves look like now, because I bought so many books this year since I put this little jar together. But then also I think I want to do like color coding based on genres. That way I can, like, it will still be kind of random, but I can pick like what genre I want to pick from that month and then go with that. And that way I don't end up like pulling the same genre for multiple months in a row. I'm going to be writing down all the books in this really cool journal that my parents got me this summer. They went to Alaska over the summer, and they got me this like really cool journal. And so I'm going to be using this to help me, and I'm going to do this by genre. I already organized my books on my shelves by genre, so it'll already be a little bit easy, but I need to figure out what genres I need to write down. This shelf over here that's out of frame, but I'll have it in there in a minute. This shelf over here is sci-fi and fantasy, and it carries up a little bit to the top shelf. But I think for TBR jar purposes, I'm going to break that up. So, all right, this first page, I'll write sci-fi because I want to divide it out a little bit. Scout, ah! The dog just almost knocked over the camera. Anyway, all right, sci-fi there. I think, will one page front and back be enough? I think it will be, because I can do multiple columns on the page. I think that'll work. All right, next page is fantasy. There's that. Okay, so that'll take care of that first shelf. That's sci-fi and fantasy. And I also have like all of my Tolkien and C.S. Lewis up there. And so I'll just put those within their respective genres, whether it's nonfiction or essays or like fantasy or whatever. And then sci-fi and fantasy continues a little bit to the top of this shelf, and then after that I switch to general fiction. So I'm going to give myself a couple pages for fantasy because I know I have a lot of those. Okay, here we go. Let's move on to general fiction. Give myself a couple pages for that, and then I'm going to give myself a section for classics. These two shelves, this one and then the one over here that you can't see, are my main fiction shelves. But I have like some poetry and drama and nonfiction on this shelf over here that I just don't show off as much because I don't have very much. And then I keep most of my romance and fantasy romance and then historical fiction upstairs because I started running out of room on these shelves. So, all right, let's give myself a romance page, even though I don't have hardly any romance books that I own that I haven't read yet. because I don't buy those as much. And when I do, I pretty much buy them because I want to read them right then. But I'll go ahead and make a category for myself. So we have romance. Then we have, what did I say? I forgot the other genre. Oh, historical fiction. I don't know what I want to categorize fantasy romance under. Actually, I don't actually think I have any fantasy romance upstairs that I'm going to put in this that I haven't read yet. We'll figure that out later. Oh, and then I need to make a section for poetry. I'm going to put poetry and drama in the same category. I think that'll work. And then I'm going to make one. Did I already write down nonfiction? I don't think I did. No. All right. And then we're going to do a section for nonfiction. Okay. So those are my genres. So I'm going to be keeping track of these in here. I'm going to move the camera real quick so that you guys can see. I may or may not keep my mic on because it's like a clip-on mic that's connected to my camera, and I don't know that I want to be dragging that around with me the whole time, but this room is also like really echoey. So we'll see what I end up doing with the mic. I think that the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all my shelves and I'm going to pull out the books that I haven't read yet, but I'm not going to like pull them out and take them off the shelf because I do not want to have to deal with putting them back on. I'm just going to pull them forward like, I'll just pick a random one. Just kind of pull them forward like that so that I can see which ones, and then I can go through and write down the titles and put them in the right genres. So yeah, I think that that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Sci-fi and fantasy are done. There's so much pulled out in front here, especially on these bottom two shelves. I did not realize that there was that much that I hadn't read yet, but like, I don't know if you can see it, but like all of these are pulled forward while there's like a few tucked back there. And then all of these are pulled forward here. So now I'm gonna start and do all of the general fiction. I love these. These are my favorite. I love that I have them. Okay, I got general fiction and classics done, and oh my gosh, like this entire shelf I have not read yet. There's only, let me count, there's only 10 books on this shelf that I have read that are pushed towards the back. Every single other thing I haven't read yet. I was actually kind of surprised. Let me see if I can tilt my camera any further down. I have actually read more of my classics than I thought. My classics are mostly on these bottom two shelves. There's a few over here that like aren't classics, but I am actually kind of surprised by how many of those that I have read. So, that's cool. Anyway, okay, the next thing I'm going to do is poetry and drama. Now, poetry and drama I have a little bit of a harder time with because like really big anthologies of poems, I don't really count as like having read or not read. Those are kind of just there for like enjoyment when I want them. Same with short story collections. There are a few short story collections on these two shelves that I have not pulled out because I have a very hard time sitting down and just reading through a short story collection all in one go. So I'm choosing to not put those on here because those I would rather just decide to pick up and read one or two and then put it away until I feel like it again. So I'm not going to put those on here. Okay, here's my stack of poetry and drama. that I'm going to put in the TBR jar. So yeah, I'm just choosing these out of the ones that I already have. Okay, these are my, like, this is kind of a weird stack, but it's like biography and memoir-ish, and like some like random philosophy and stuff is in here. This is a weird stack, but I'm gonna count these. All right, and then here I have my nonfiction. Oh my gosh, there we go. Here I have my nonfiction. I really don't buy much nonfiction because generally when I read it, I just kind of read it and then that's it. But I have a few, and then I just realized that this one like actually needs to go, and like I have memoirs in here too. I don't know. I have a really hard time organizing my nonfiction. All right, this is a weird angle. Hi. Hello. Okay, I'm going to take some time to write down everything in this journal now. I don't think I'm gonna film too much of this just because me writing down book titles is really boring, but the ones that stick out to me while I do this, I'll stop and I'll talk about because there are a few in here that I'm really excited to get into. I've got a big old chunk of nonfiction by C.S. Lewis to read. What are we categorizing this as? I guess fantasy, because I'm not really doing like a dark academia genre, but I'm pretty sure there's magic in this, so I'm gonna put it in fantasy. I am actually so excited to read this trilogy. I have had it for, oh gosh, almost a year now actually. And I'm really excited. I don't know why I haven't gotten to it yet, but also just, I cannot get over how gorgeous the covers are. Like, what? They are so pretty. This one in particular, there's something about the blue on this one that I'm just like, what? It looks so, oh, it's got a weird font. I don't know if you guys can see this or if you think it looks weird. I just opened to a random page in the book, so hopefully there wasn't anything weird on that page. It's got a weird font. That's interesting. Yeah, they're all like that. All right. I also can never remember what the actual name of the trilogy is. The Daevabad? Is it Daevabad? Daevabad? I don't know. So for things like this, I'm not going to put the name of each one of these books in the TBR jar because it's a trilogy, so you have to read them in order, so it's not just like a random book you can put out. So what I'll do is I'll have one slip of paper that just has the name of the trilogy on it. That way, if I pick it, I know, oh, go ahead and start this trilogy, and then I'll put it back in the jar. That way, if, you know, I read one and then don't continue immediately, if I pull it out, go, oh, read the next one. So that's how I'm planning on doing it when it's series, that I already have multiple books in the series that I haven't read yet. I think that's what I'm gonna do. This one I got at a library book sale like a year or so ago, and it's a bind up of a whole trilogy, and I have no idea what it's about. It looks like a Middle Eastern trilogy. Oh, is that a spaceship? Is this science fiction? This is science fiction. I thought this was fantasy. All right, gotta change that. Nope. You are going into sci-fi. The Fated Sun trilogy. Okay. I don't know what this is about. Let's read the back of it because I don't even think that I've done that. Mercenaries fighting across different worlds, like different planets. It looks like the race of people, of like individuals or whatever that this starts out with are not humans, and then they encounter humans later. Yeah, there's like multiple races. Like it looks like humanoid races that aren't humans. Interesting. Oh, there's something in here. Oh, I have somebody's old airplane ticket that was stuck in here for a bookmark. George, I have your plane ticket. I love finding random things in used books. I am so excited to read this one. I started it and got, I don't know how far through. Okay, not far. I folded down the page and, okay, I got that much through it, so not far. What I have heard is that, and can confirm just by how much that I've read of this, it is very atmospheric. Like, there's not a whole lot of plot. It's just this character just like wandering around this strange place trying to figure out where he is. And the writing, it was really, really pretty. It was just a little slow for what I wanted at the time, but I am really excited to get back into this one. The sun is starting to shine in here for the evening, and it's getting really warm. I keep forgetting that I cannot film in here after like 2 o'clock in the afternoon because the sun just hits right here, and it's so hot. I actually don't know if Kaikeyi is more fantasy or mythology. I think I may have heard that it's more mythology, but I'm really not sure. So I'm just gonna put it in my fantasy list for now. Okay, I've finished all of the sci-fi and fantasy books. I have almost a whole page of sci-fi and then a full page of fantasy. So that's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. But again, I'm not writing out every single book in the series. Like, I know, once again, you can't see it, but I have like a bunch of books in the Wheel of Time series. I have the Chaos Walking series. I have the Davabad trilogy, or however you say it. So not every single book is going on this list. But hey, grand scheme of things, not too bad. Moving on to general fiction. I have absolutely no clue what this one is about. But the cover is just absolutely gorgeous. And that is entirely why I bought it. This is beautiful, but it's huge. And I don't know what it's about in the least. So I know I said that one of the things that brought this video on was having just finished a Dickens and not wanting to read another one next month. Even though I like Dickens, I enjoy Dickens, it's just not something that I can like really densely consume right now. But going through this, I only have 3 left on my shelf of his that I have not read. And for some reason, one of those is Oliver Twist, because every single time I pick this up, I cannot get through it at all. Like, I don't care about the story at all, which is funny because it's his most famous one. But I have Oliver Twist, The Haunted House, which is pretty short. I don't know if it's technically considered a short story or what. And then Sketches of Young Gentlemen, which I'm pretty sure is a collection of like smaller works. So anyway, only 3 left of his that I own that I haven't read. So yay. I just counted, I have 8 that I have read. So we're on the right track. How much do I want to bet that I never read this? It's so big. How big, how long is this? Oh my gosh. There's like a whole, oh, it's just end notes. Okay. There's end notes in the back, which is fine, but it looked like a dictionary at first. I was like, what? How many pages is this? That's the actual like book. Okay, it seems that the actual book of War and Peace is 1,110 pages long, which is a lot. There's a whole section in here on the characters to like explain them. Yeah, there's like a whole list of characters. There's maps. There's maps. I'm used to maps in fantasy books, but complicated literature? I don't know about that. Okay, now I have to get up and go get my bundles of other things. Decided to add this to my stack of poetry. This is a cute little collection of love poems I picked up at Barnes & Noble. I could get through this pretty quickly, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and add this to the list. Hey Scout, you're back. Hello. Hello. Puppy came back. Don't knock my camera over again. Don't do it. I'm having a really hard time figuring out how to organize my nonfiction because like some of it is biography and some of it is memoir and then some of it's just nonfiction, but there's also like some philosophy and stuff in here. So I think but I don't have enough of any category to like make into its own thing. So I think that I'm just going to put it all under nonfiction and just put it all under that category for now. Okay, I think that is everything down here that I'm gonna put on this list. My shelves are an absolute mess now and I have piles on the floor, but that's okay. I'm going to go upstairs now and I'll take you with me, but I'm gonna take you upstairs so that I can write down the just few books that I have upstairs that I'm gonna put on this list. I have a couple historical fiction and then maybe like 1 or 2 romances to put on the list. So we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna look through my craft supplies and see what color papers that I have that I can use to put together my jar. The light over here is actually better than I thought it would be. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. It's not too bad, even though this is not a very pretty backdrop. This is really just my random collection of books that will not fit on the shelves downstairs that I want to keep together. So like, I really want to keep all of my Sarah J Maas together, and this is only ACOTAR and Crescent City that I have on this shelf right over here, because I have lent my sister my box set of Throne of Glass, so I don't even have that, so I'm gonna have to figure out where to put that. It'll probably go on top, honestly, once I get that back. So I have my Sarah J Maas here. I've read all this though, so this doesn't have to go on the list. And then this is like the rest of my like fantasy romance and then other romances. So this is my From Blood and Ash set. I've only read the first one, even though I own 5 of them. I've only read the first one, and then I got about halfway through Kingdom of Flesh and Fire and then just never got back to it. But I'm not gonna put these in my TBR jar because I have a plan mulling in my head for a video with these, so I'm not gonna put those in there. And then the only other one that on this shelf that I have not read yet is Hook, Line, and Sinker. I kind of need to look and see if the library has the first one. Oh, did I leave my pen downstairs? Oh no, here it is. Because I only have the second one, so I need to figure out if I can get the first one, or if I like even have to read them in order, or if I can just read it separately. Okay, so Hook, Line, and Sinker is my only romance that's going on this list. I'm still gonna keep the category in case I ever have any others to read. I have the entire Bridgerton series here. This is my mom's copy of the paperbacks. So I'm not gonna put this on my list because I don't own these. I'm borrowing them from my mom because I'll get around to reading them eventually. And this is Outlander, and I've read these. So those need to go on the list. But I do have some historical fiction down here. Let me see if I can slide these over so you guys can see. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And I've read a couple of these. I've read All the Light We Cannot See. Very good. I also saw, I think it was Amazon maybe, is doing either a TV show or a movie, but I think it was like a show or a miniseries on this one, and I'm really excited about that one because I really like this one. And then I have also read The Book Thief. So those 2 I don't need to put on my list, but then these 3 in the middle I do need to. The Lady of Sing Sing, the Alice Network, and then the Warsaw Orphan I need to put on my list. And then the only other things that I really have on this shelf that are like books to read are Fourth Wing, which I've already read, and then City of Bones. And I'm not gonna put this on the list because I have a plan to like buddy read Cassandra Clare with one of my sisters, because I have never read anything by Cassandra Clare ever. And so I found the first one really cheap at the library. My library has like a shelf of books out front that you can donate and then take the books home. It's ones that they're getting rid of, and they had this one. So I went ahead and grabbed it, but I'm not gonna put it on my list yet because I wanna do this with my sister, so I have to figure out the best timing for that. Okay, so that's everything. All right, I need to count how many categories I have so I can go look at my craft supplies and see what paper I have available so that I can figure out what colors I wanna do for each genre for putting them in the jar. Okay, so I have 8 genres, so I need to see if I can find 8 different colors of paper, which might be a challenge. We will see what I have. Okay, so I found paper. It's technically like heavy duty textured like scrapbook paper, but I don't scrapbook. I don't do a whole lot of crafts right now. I just got this because it was like, yeah, it was on clearance that I found at a craft shop. And so I have 2 of these and they're not getting any use. So I might as well go ahead and use them for this. Let's get this thing open. It is a little bit textured and it's pretty heavy, but I think I can still make it work because I can just cut like some rectangles and just fold them in half and have the name on the inside. So that will still keep it. And even though it's textured, it's only textured on one side. So the other side is not textured. So this one, I know you can't see, but this side is pretty textured, but the back is the same color, but it's smooth. So I'll probably just write on the back. So yeah, so now I have to figure out, okay, I said I had 8 genres. So now I had to figure out what color I want to use for each one. All right, science fiction. For some reason, for me, when I think of science fiction, my brain goes to red immediately. So I'm going to grab a sheet of red to use for sci-fi. Same thing, when I think of fantasy, I think green. So here's a sheet of green to use for fantasy. It's kind of, this light's making it look like really weird and like brown and stuff, but it's way more green than this in real life. Okay, so that's sci-fi, that's fantasy. What other genres do I have? General fiction. Okay. General fiction, I feel, let's go like purple. Yeah. Okay, those are all really dark. What about this one? Okay, that's not too bad. It's still pretty dark, but I'm gonna go with it. This is kind of like a grapey purple color. Again, the light in here is making all of these look very different than they really are. But I have kind of a mauvey grape purple here. So I'm gonna do that for general fiction. Classics, oh dear. I think that classics are going to be yellow. Yeah. Let's do yellow for classics. Got a nice bright piece of yellow here. Romance is pink. Always romance is pink in my brain, so let's find a pink. Here we go. All right, there's pink. Here it is, pink for the romance books. Historical fiction. Okay, I'm running out of colors. Historical fiction. Let's do this kind of like burnt orange, brownish type of color. This is kind of like a burnt orange. We'll do this for historical fiction. Okay, I only have 2 more. I have poetry and drama and then nonfiction. Poetry and drama, I think I'm gonna put on this like kind of charcoal gray-ish color. So I'm gonna do that for poetry and drama. Okay, and then nonfiction is my last one. For nonfiction, oh, I haven't done blue yet. Oh, let's do blue for nonfiction. Or should I do blue for poetry? I'll do blue for nonfiction. That'll be fun. So I'm going to do this like light blue for nonfiction. And so that should be 8 colors. So I'm going to use these for my slips that I will put into the jar. I'm probably going to need a bigger jar than I used last time, but that's okay. I have some that I can use. So I will be back once I have written all of these out and put the jar together. And then I'm also going to count and see how many of these slips of paper I'm putting in the jar. I think that would be really cool to have that number. It will grow very quickly because I continue to buy books, but I'm going to try to stay on top of putting my new books that I get straight into the jar. That way I kind of keep it fresh and I don't get bogged down by old books and like be wishing that I could get to my new books. Hey guys, so it's the next day now. Writing all of the book titles on the little slips of paper and then cutting them out and folding them took me absolutely forever, and I was so tired by the end of it I did not feel like filming anymore, but it's all done. So I've actually put all of them, you can see them in here. I also like this kind of, just because of the colors that I had, this kind of like muted color palette that I have in here. I kind of like it. But I put them all in this vase that I keep on my bookshelf because I kind of just have this on there anyway as like a bookend holding some books up. And it was a great size for these. It's big enough that I can still like reach my hand in and kind of mix them around before I pull one out. So they are all in here. I ended up with a total of 115 pieces of paper that I have in here. And again, that's not 115 books, that's 115 pieces of paper because some of these represent like a whole series that I have. So, yeah, I have plenty to get through. So this video was really fun. I still need to go fix my bookshelves after I pulled all the books out towards the front to write the names down. I still need to go fix those and like put them all back and make it real pretty. But I'm really happy that I had this so far. I think that this will make my Read It or Unhaul It challenge a little bit more interesting and engaging, at least for myself, because I feel that I at least have a choice of genre, and that will help me, I think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.